And we are live for the Post-Status Happiness Hour. And my guest today is somebody I've known for quite a few years, Devin Walker. Devin, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate
It's
it.
a pleasure. We worked so closely together for so many years. It's always nice to have an opportunity to talk to you for sure. We see each other sometimes at events, but it's like, I mean, those events are like ships passing in the night for everybody there because they're so busy and so crazy, but it's always nice to have an opportunity to hear what's going on in your world. And I'm excited because there's a lot of stuff happening in your world.
It's been a busy year. Yeah.
It
Very
has.
eventful for me. Well, should I dive into it, or what do you?
I was going to say, so for people who might not know who you are, why don't you give us the nutshell version, and then we're going to absolutely deep dive into everything today.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So first, my name's Devin Walker. I've been in WordPress for about 15 years now, and started in the agency world, and then got into freelancing, learned about building plugins during that time, built a couple early plugins that kind of got me addicted to it, started building a lot of nonprofit websites, eventually partnered up with a couple WordPress folks, Matt Cromwell being one of them, and still good friends with him and always will be. But then we discovered from the nonprofit building websites like, hey, WooCommerce didn't really work for them. Gravity Forms didn't really work as a real fit. We could build something really specific for nonprofits, and that's where the idea from Give WP came about. It actually happened at the last WordCamp San Francisco prior to becoming WordCamp US. We sat down after State of the Word and kind of hashed out this idea, spent the next 6 months building it, and then fast forward 7 years later, during the pandemic, we saw incredible growth. During that time also, there's a lot of acquisitions happening in the WordPress marketplace, and we figured let's have some conversations. This could be a good time to strike while the iron's hot, and nothing really fit really well until we came across Liquid Web and had some really good conversations with them. Obviously, the making sure our team was taken care of was the first thing. Making sure that they could get, benefits that we just couldn't provide as a smaller company, upward momentum to grow beyond Give in the organization, that the brand would be taken care of, and then finally that us as partners would be getting what we wanted. And so that made sense to us. About 6 months through the due diligence, all that process, we came on board Liquid Web, and that's where I was at for the last almost 4 years. I had a 2-year contract. Yeah, my contract was 2 years. I really enjoyed working with the team, the challenges, and eventually, about 3 weeks ago, let's say 6 weeks ago, I knew my time to move on was there, and now here I am.
I love it. You are definitely one of those people that like builds and builds well, and then says, "What other problems can I solve for people, and what else can I build today?" And like gets the idea of I could do something different now, and I love that because you do have your coding skills from what I've seen and from what I understand of development are right up there, and so seeing you build projects and do things in the community has always been really cool.
Well, I appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you as well.
And I was on the journey for a lot of that. You and I met, I'm going to probably pick the wrong year, but we met at a WordCamp Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Way back in the day. And that's the first time I'd ever heard of Give WP. You and Jason Cadill were doing a talk. I was giving a different talk there that year. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm going to use this on a website. And I did. And we raised money for children in South Sudan to actually not starve by providing lunches at schools for kids in refugee camps using Give WP. And so that was really kind of a cool project back in the day.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, that's just, I'm really proud of what we built because it does further the cause of so many great organizations and foundations, and just, you had an urge to help out, and it provided a tool for you. And that I love that. I can look back and really be happy about what we achieved. But I do remember that WordCamp very specifically. And I remember the first time I met you, you were welcoming us to that makers event, right? Remember
Yeah.
that? And
Yeah.
I thought that was really neat. And the WordCamp itself was super unique. Let's just say, because like the sponsor area was in, do you remember that? It was like there were mannequins and like a fashion school we were at.
It was an art school. Yeah.
And it was kind of like in this back area. So we took one of the mannequins and put the Give shirt on it and sort
I
of
do.
made lemonade out of lemons, if you can say that. And yeah, it was a good experience there.
I think that's where my first Give pint glass and bottle opener came from as well. So from that event,
Nice, nice.
I
Those
may have.
podcasts is still hanging around too.
I was gonna say I probably still have a few in the cabinet if I'm being honest about it. And the bottle opener is definitely on the side of the refrigerator.
Good,
With the
good.
magnet that's provided for sure. Yeah, so it's been a few years since we started. Like I say, and I think I'm honest about this, that we had the first customer success department in WordPress as well, and started asking customers for their phone numbers. Which I remember you were a little hesitant at first. You're like, nobody does that. I'm only going to make it optional. So that's fine. And enough people started giving us their phone numbers. We started calling. Well, I started calling people before we'd hired anybody else. And we got a tweet from an agency in Colorado saying, I just got a phone call from Give WP, just checking in to see if everything's okay. Nobody does that. They were like so excited about it. So we were starting to set some precedents in WordPress. And I like the way that all evolved.
Absolutely. I remember you pitched Jason, and then both of you pitched me, and I was like, what? We already have support. What, like, we do a good job on that. What do we need this for? And you convinced me that the proactiveness of putting the phone number on the checkout, I think we met in the middle where I was like, okay, it's not going to be a required field, right? And we're like, all right. And then I think there was like, what was it? 3 days, 7 days after a purchase, that was the first check-in. And then like 3 months or 6 months after that, we check in again.
Yeah.
And what did that do for us? Like our renewal rates were
at over 80%. We had over 80% renewals, which is unheard of in plugin world, right? So it was
huge.
amazing. Yeah, I remember one of my favorite stories as a customer success person. We also did the low-hanging fruit support stuff, right? So the support team could work on the development stuff where there was real issues. And where people just didn't understand how to use something, we would hop on a quick call with them. And I remember getting on a call with a woman in South Africa whose parrot was squawking the entire time. She had a pet parrot. And she could not get Give to work on her website. And so I finally get her to share her screen and realized that she had downloaded the plugin, opened the zip file, and was trying to upload the contents of the zip file one by one, which, as we know, in WordPress doesn't work. Right. So I solved her problem almost immediately. And she was like, I love Give WP. This is awesome. But my favorite story was when I was on a call with a woman who was also looking for help with Give. She shared her screen with me, and I said something about her PayPal account. And she said, no, we only use Stripe on this account. We don't have PayPal. I said, well, it says that you've got some donations in there through PayPal. And she messaged me. This was like a dog shelter, with people, and those usually are surviving on very little funds, right? They're bootstrapping all the way. She called me back the next day and she said, we found $2,500 in a PayPal account we didn't know we had. Thank you so much. So just little things like that aren't even actually troubleshooting anything. And we were able to help nonprofits all over the world. It was exciting.
Yeah, it was really eye-opening, not only through the development or the creation of that customer success team, but learning more about our customers, their technical abilities, right? We had like agencies that knew WordPress inside and out, but it surprised me how many of these weekend warriors, whatever we would call them, we had personas for them too, right? Where they use WordPress as the tool, as the means of their foundation to get their message out there and fundraise. And a lot of times they don't know how to do things like make sure the zip is the one you upload, right? Typically people are going to double click on that. It's going to unpack and then there's your files, right?
They're stuck, yeah.
Yeah, they have no idea
Which
about
one do I upload?
Right, right. And a lot of times, like, they wouldn't even be on WordPress. We'd have to teach them about that prior to it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it did good for
Yeah.
the WordPress project as a whole as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I have had an amazing career in WordPress because of those early days that we worked together. So I appreciate all of the stuff over all the years. But now you have moved on from GiveWP and the projects over at Liquid Web. What are you working on next, Devin? I mean, I know because we're going to talk about it soon, but tell everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to call this my next big thing or anything. Like, this is just something fun for me to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's the next thing for now, right?
Right. It's the next thing for now. So it's WP Rollback Pro. WP Rollback itself has been around for 10 years, right? So we first created this in 2015, I believe, at WordCamp Orange County. They were doing what they called Plugin Palooza. And it was essentially a contest. It ran for a couple of years. We did the very first one. And it's essentially you had X number of days, I think it was weeks, to submit an idea for a plugin that you thought could make a difference in the WordPress community. And so we thought, like, hey, going back in versions, when a plugin updates in WordPress, there's not a really good escape hatch to get back to the previous version unless you go to wordpress.org, click on developers, and then go into the repo and find that zip file for the previous version, download that, FTP it up, or use the WordPress installer to do it. It's just like those previous
and so many people don't know how to do that.
No, it's really hard to do that. And so we said, well, why don't we make this easier? There's endpoints within the WordPress.org website that we can hit, find out those versions, pull them in, and then use the WordPress updater system to then dispatch that previous version and replace the files and do everything that it does. And not just plugins, but themes also. And so that's what it did. It just specifically worked for WordPress.org plugins and themes, not any third-party premium or pro versions of themes or plugins. And yeah, we released that. We won the contest. I forget exactly what no, I do remember. We won like a lifetime membership to Sakuri, which was really big at the time. And then we won I think some hosting, and I don't think there was any money involved, but it was really cool. There's like a judge panel. I think it's on WordPress or WordCamp.tv, but I haven't been able to find it or pictures.
We'll have to look for it. We'll
right.
it.
Yeah. So that's the backstory of WP Rollback. And now fast forward to today, or let's say 6 months ago, I've always wanted to make it work with premium plugins. And
right, because the version in the repo really only works with other things that are in the repo, correct?
Right. The tricky thing is there's no endpoint to hit for premium plugins for whatever versions they've released, right? So getting around that was a bit tricky. Like, so the way I did it was when you go to update a plugin, let's say Gravity Forms has a new release. When you update from version, let's just say 2.1 to 2.2, WP Rollback is going to take that version 2.1 and pack it into a zip file and store it in your WP uploads directory / WP Rollback. And it's going to store it securely via, it's got an htaccess file on it so nobody can hit it. And then so if something happens on 2.2 and you need to go back to 2.1, then you have that archive to go back to. And that's sort of how we got around it.
I wondered about that because I was looking at it thinking, how are you going to be able to access earlier versions? But if you're accessing the version that you have already saved, very clever.
Yeah. So it is pretty clever. And also in the pro version, we went away from the WordPress updater system, and I built that ourselves into our own system that then provides additional checks in place. So it has integrity checks within the files to make sure that all the files match up according to their extensions. There's I want to also integrate with WP Scan and Patch Stack to do vulnerability.
I have lost you. Let's see if we can get Devin back on here. Oh, it's a first for us. So let me just share some information. Hopefully Devin will be able to rejoin us. But if you are looking for information on WP Rollback and you want to know about WP Rollback Pro, all you have to do is go to WPRollback.com. That site has all of the information on it. And you can actually just go to the free version as well, which is in the WordPress repo. I'm going to find that for you right now as well. Let's see, WordPress.org. Plugins, and we'll find it here. Just one moment. And let's see. Let's bring that right up for you. Yeah, it has great reviews. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in a new banner. So if you are interested in checking out the free version first, you can just go to WordPress.org/plugin/WP-rollback, and you can find it there. Let's see if he's able to get back. I'm going to send him a quick text. And see if we can get him back here. While we're waiting, I will also tell you there is no WordPress post status happiness hour next week. I will be traveling next week, but in 2 weeks, you can come back and join me for a conversation with Andre Gagnon from SureCart. We're going to talk about SureCart and some of the things that are happening over in their world. We may have other guests as well from them, but Andre for sure will be joining me. I'm looking forward to learning more about SureCart in 2 weeks. Devin is heading back, so he'll be back here in just a second. Again, WPRollback.com. And for the free version, you can go to WordPress.org/plugins/WP-rollback. I have used WP Rollback before, and it works like a charm. It's a wonderful thing when you suddenly experience issues with an update. I'm very much looking forward to adding it to my site so that I can now I'm having problems. So let's see if we can get everything in together. So thanks for hanging in there with us. And let's see, what else was I going to tell you? If you have projects, if you have releases, if you have things that you are interested in sharing, I'd love to have you on the podcast. So you can hit me up on any social channel. You can also go to poststatus.com, hit the contact form. Everything that goes into that contact form comes to me as well. So if you have something that you'd like to share, you can DM me in any of the places, or you can go ahead to that contact form and let me know what's going on and what you'd like to share in the world, because I would be happy to help you bring that out and let other people learn more about it. We do put transcripts on all of our on our website when we post this. Thank you to Olivia Bassett. Shout out Olivia, who does all of the publishing for me for all of our podcasting and all of our, whether we've recorded it or whether we've done it live. She will go back to not only to put it on their website, but also go to our YouTube channel and add all of the information there on YouTube for you. So if you were to look at some of our former live streams, you'd be able to see things that are there, as well as the Women in WordPress series that we've been doing this year. So if you do go to our channel on YouTube, sorry, you can also see our playlists. We do have a playlist for Women in WordPress. And so we've been doing a bunch of things with our Women in WordPress series, and it's exciting. So we've had quite a few people from Mary Hubbard, Meher Bala, Rachel Cherry, Pichaniri, Pilar Garcia, Shiba Ayin Zabayana, Ruta Rumenaskaita, Sama Nasser, Ratika Roy, Stacey Watson, Wendy Heisenvelt, Ranu Patel, Whitney Agunde, Indira Biswas, Miriam Schwab, Pooja Dosrashi, Tatiana Perez, Taylor Walden, Maria Ansari, Mia Cantrell, Ray Mori, Shambi Imari, Maddie Osmonds, Vilena Peneva, Lindsay Miller, Krupa Nanda, June Liu, Jess Frick, Jennifer Miller, and Courtney Robertson. We've had 30 so far, and there's still more coming. So if you are interested in learning more about women in WordPress, you can go ahead and check out some of our live streams. As well, every Thursday morning right now, or most Thursday mornings, we're doing a 10 series episodes with the simplest way to accessible design with Pichaniri. And so we've had quite a few of those already. And we have, let's see, tomorrow next, or I should say this time. Tomorrow we should be seeing talking about captioning. So we're going to talk about captions tomorrow. And we have Devin back. Hey, Devin.
Hey, just perfect timing, right? Like exactly. That hasn't happened in months, and just live, right?
It's okay. It's all good. I was just telling everybody about some things that are coming up with Post Status, and so what they can find on our channel. So,
okay. If that happens again, let's.
We'll just call it. We'll call it that. But before it does, in case it happens again, why don't you go ahead and share your screen again and give us a little bit of a demo of what's going on with WP Rollback.
Sure. Yeah. So let me fire this up again, so I make sure it's all good. And let's jump in.
Yeah.
This here.
And again, if you are watching and you have questions, you can hit us up with those questions, and we'll do our best to answer them. All right, here we go. All right, the floor is yours, Devin. Tell us all about it.
Okay, so this is the homepage for WP Rollback. It's brand new. I'm still working on the site, but I did create this video over the weekend, and if you want to give it a watch, it's I'm no video editor, but I think it's decent enough. I didn't put my voice on it. Just I'll create more walkthrough videos with my voice on it. I used 11labs.io, which is pretty cool. It's like an AI voice creation service that actually sounds pretty natural. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. It's like $11 a month. Worked well. But yeah, so I'm coining it as the WordPress time machine. That kind of gets you out of a bad update, so you can just rewind on it. Rollback premium plugins, version control for themes. And so yeah, check out the website. One thing I'm really proud of, it has 300,000 active installs and almost all 5-star reviews. So if you look at the repo, 300,000 active installs, and then 201 5 stars, just a couple negative ones, which those are pretty old now. And then I'm active in the support forum, so I want to make sure that people are getting the answers they need for the free support, and been doing that for years. And I should give a shout out to some of the other co-authors, like Matt Cromwell helped me with this, and Brandon Levine. They helped in the early days get this up and running, submitted it to the Plugin Palooza with us. So I'd be remiss if I didn't give them a shout out as well. But now it's only me working on it.
But we should also say that Plugin Palooza happened before ChatGPT and Claude and all of the things. You guys were actually coding. You weren't even like searching.
Oh, much
through AI.
Earlier. Yeah, AI wasn't even like an idea, or it probably was, but not to help us with this. And nowadays I am using, I wouldn't call it vibe coding at all. I would call it more like prompting, reviewing, heavily
assistive coding,
steering it in the right direction, right?
Sure.
And
you got to use the tools that are there for sure.
Exactly. So let's jump into it. This is my demo site. It's a little bit messy, just because I'm got a zillion updates, always testing it. But this is the main dashboard screen of WP Rollback Pro. When you perform a rollback, it's going to display in this activity log here. You have activity log for your plugin rollbacks, and you have an activity log for your theme rollbacks. Within that, you can see which version you were on, which one you went back to, who it was performed by. In this case, it's always going to be me because it's my test site. When it happened, you can see I just did this one 30 minutes ago. And whether I provided a rollback note or not, you can see here's one, test 1, 2, 3. But typically this would say like, I'm experiencing a form not submitting now, or a CSS conflict with my theme. And it just provides that admin or anybody on an active site like, oh, why did this happen? Here's the reason why. From here, you can roll back a plugin or theme. And this is all using WordPress components. So I've tried to keep it really native to WordPress, use the data view component, which I think is extremely powerful, should be used more. And I'd like to see it as the replacement of WP list tables, I believe, or WP. I can't even remember it because it's been a while now that I've been using these data views. But you can see now, here's all the plugins you have installed in your site, whether they're active or not in the current version. We can't grab thumbnails for plugins that either don't have a thumbnail or are premium ones unless they provide that within the plugin itself. So we do some searching for that. But let's just roll back like a Kismet to see how that looks. So this is a free plugin on WordPress.org. You have all the different versions that they've tagged over the years that you can go back to. And then you can view the changelog here as well. Opens in this WordPress modal component. And then you can actually go forward, and it's called WP Rollback because typically that's what you want to do. But you can also go forward and back. And so what you do is you click Rollback at the bottom. This modal says you want to confirm. Has a little notice here like, hey, make sure you do a full backup if it's anything that you suspect could have caused issues on your website. And then here's your rollback note. Let's just say spam testing, I don't know, something like that. Continue. And this is where we take over from, we enable maintenance mode because this is an active plugin, or in this case it's not. So it says maintenance mode is not needed for an active asset. If it is active, you know how WordPress puts that little maintenance file in your subdirect or in your root directory. We do the same thing. We just style it a little bit better, use the same messaging. And then boom, like after it goes through this, it downloads the new version, creates the version archive if necessary. But this one, it's skipped because it's a WordPress.org asset. No need to do that. Validates the package integrity. So this, checks the different files, make sure it's all good to go, verifies it, replaces the files, and then cleans up anything temporary. And now when you go back to your plugin screen, it's on version 5.3.4. And then when you look at 5.3.4, that's a quick overview of how that works. Gravity forms, for example, when you roll back this, you're not going to get that pretty banner because we can't pull that from any .org. But then you can go back here. I won't show that whole process again, but we pull as much information as we can glean from the plugin itself, like what version of PHP it requires, what version of WordPress. We do checks to make sure if you're going forward and back that actually lines up. And then what you have here is your archives. So this is where you can go and see like which versions have been stored for my plugins and themes, my premium ones, right? So this is only in the pro version. Here you can see that here's the 2.9.17.1, 2.9.6. I've updated each version. It's stored it for me. I can actually download it here. It's going to pull that from my uploads directory for whatever reason. I can use this version and roll back to. It'll plug it in for me and get me started in that process. Or if like I have got a bunch of them, I can delete it as well. And then it goes away from my archive. Yes. And then if you don't want a bunch of archives being stored, you can either clear them all out if you want to just, start fresh for whatever reason. And then, you don't need a zillion different versions. Like typically when you roll back, it's like a version or two. So by default, it's going to have 25 versions. But if you're like, I only want like 10, then it'll say, okay, well, if you have too many, then it's going to permanently delete whatever's older than the latest 10 versions.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can limit it to 10 from there.
That's really nice.
Yeah, so that's kind of WP Rollback in a nutshell there.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to really quickly point out like how I've always wanted to make a mono repo work for WordPress plugins. So this is a free version and a pro version, and there's a lot of shared code between the two. And then there's documentation that talks about this, right? About both versions. And so like having to duplicate the efforts between whether I need a function here and a function here, and it's the same thing. Like I didn't want to have to maintain two of the duplicate functions or classes or whatever. So within this mono repo, it took me a while to get this set up right. And then I did a bunch of research. Long story short, I finally got it working in a way that is really, I think, pretty great. Allows me to deploy really quickly. But in packages, you have the free plugin, you have the pro plugin, and then you've got a shared core. The shared core is brought in as a dependency between these two. So this one's put within each one, and then each one pulls from that shared core. So when I talked about the shared class, or shared method, shared function, that whenever you have anything shared, it goes into the shared core, and then you reference it from the specific package.
Very cool.
VitePress, this is the documentation. It's not related to WordPress. It's just a really great documentation system that uses like a markdown content and a flat file. So it's super fast. I'll preview it here in a second. But when it lives so close to the code, especially in the age of like we're working with AI heavily now, I can reference the actual code, the actual functionality, have it right 75% of the documentation. I go to review it. Again, it hallucinates and makes up stuff. So I have to closely review it and get it the next 25% down the line, add the screenshots, add videos. I'm in the process of adding more videos and walkthroughs and things like that. But it's been a wonderful experience. And I'll stop talking now for a second, but you can tell how excited I get about this.
I love it. I'm thinking like I obviously we all still experience some compatibility issues when we do updates, things like that. We don't white screen as often as we used to, which is a nice thing. Usually now we just see this like code at the top of your screen that's telling you something's not working right. But there's other use cases for this besides like, oh, that didn't work as well as I'd hoped. I think sometimes like when a vulnerability in a plugin is disclosed, before it's able to be patched, you could roll back to a previous version that's not compromised until you know that that it's been updated and patched, and then roll forward. So you could do that very quickly and deploy that so fast without having to try to figure out, well, when are they going to patch it, and what data is at risk.
Absolutely, that's a good example. Another good example is beta versions. If WordPress.org plugins are tagging beta versions, you can go to that new version within WP Rollback, go forward to it, and then also trunk as well. So like within SVN, there's the trunk. You can specifically use the trunk version of a plugin or theme. And I have to admit, I took that out recently, and a couple support requests have requested that back in. So I'll have that in back soon. So if anybody's for some reason watching this that have requested that will be coming back soon. So you can also use it for that as well.
Nice.
And awesome. Also, if you do roll back and you're using PatchStack or WP Scan, it'll recognize that, okay, that person just went back to that version. Let's put that patch into place. So if you're paying for one of those services, it will get you back patched as well. But you do have to be careful to make sure that the version you're rolling back to they didn't update it because of a vulnerability or something like that. That's why we have these disclaimers.
Right. Absolutely. It's like some of the bigger plugins, WooCommerce, for example. Every time you go to update, it's like, are you sure you want to do that? Have you made a backup yet? Because this is a big piece of software. You might want to make sure you're okay before you press that button. But
exactly,
which is always a good thing to see for sure. So if people are interested in just testing out the free version, as I was throwing out some plugins, some plugs, I should say, for you when you were experiencing some technical difficulties. They just go to wordpress.org/plugins/WP-rollback. And if you're interested in the pro version so that you can get all of those plugins that you pay for to be able to do this for as well, put WPRollback.com, which is super cool.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Cool.
What else is coming up for you, Devin? Are you going to be attending any events? I know that you love India, and I know that WordCamp Asia is in India next year. I don't know if you've thought about that yet. It's also at the same time as PressConf. So hard to make a decision between those two events as well.
That's exactly what I was just going to say if you didn't mention that. So I tweeted like, hey, I'll be there. And then Raquel hit me up. She's like, what? Like, that's the same dates as PressConf. And so I've got a tough decision to make whether I go to one or the other. But thankfully, there's some time to ponder over that.
Yes.
Other than that, this year I took some time off going to events. Last year I went to quite a few, and it was and have been going to quite a few for many years now. So it was really refreshing to kind of get back, stay home a bit more. And also I saw more sessions. I saw yours too. This WordCamp US from streaming from my office right here than I have in the last couple of years, because there's no hallway track with the live streaming, or no sponsor booth that you have to be at for a number of hours a day. So
I imagine you had two screens open back and forth between me and Matt, probably.
Matt wasn't on a live stream. His wasn't.
Oh, okay.
But the AI one was going on at the same time. So I did kind of ping pong back and forth.
Understandable. Yeah. There were three really good. I mean, assuming mine was a good talk too. The three of us at the same time was like, oh no, everybody's going to be an AI or watching that. But I had a nice full room too. So I was happy.
Good. Yeah.
Went well.
So, I know we had some technical difficulties. I just want to give one more shout out to the licensing system that I'm using.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Paid Communities, and there it is. It reloaded. This is kind of a brand. I'm one of the first plugin, I guess, users or developers to use this system, and it's like a SaaS-based licensing product, and you can have. It's extremely affordable. They don't charge any more fees on it. It's one of my friend Clayton has developed it in the WordPress community, and he's done a great job with it. So if you're looking to license your plugin or theme, your premium WordPress asset, whatever it is, I highly suggest checking this out. It's been quite a joy to integrate with that. And then finally, VPress. This is the documentation site. It looks like Docusaurus or what was the other one? Gitbook. There's a lot of these. This one's free, works great. You can customize it like I have here, and then it's super snappy. Like you just go through each one, and it looks great. So
documentation. Oh, fantastic! I love that. And I don't remember if you said it at the beginning, but you also got married this year. So congratulations!
Yeah,
on your wedding.
Turned 40. Life comes at you fast.
It sure does. It sure does. But congratulations on all the things and all the things moving forward. I know this is just one thing you're working on right now. I imagine there will be more things coming. So absolutely, we'll continue to watch your career as we are friends, but also just because you're doing fascinating stuff all the time to see what's coming next. So thanks so much for joining me today, Devin. Anything to add before I end our live stream?
No, I'm going to be, I kind of took a hiatus on social media a little bit, wasn't as actively involved. So I'm going to be trying to, hopefully with your help, get more involved in that because you've done such a great job. I think you have 20,000 followers now on
Yeah, I just hit that recently. Crazy.
Yeah, so I'm nowhere near that, but I also want to, create more YouTube videos, not just about what I'm doing, but other cool things in the community. TikTok, I think you're telling me about that. Yeah, I've got it on my phone now. I'm gonna have to somehow Gen XZ whatever that up, and so that's what I want to do is just get more involved, and then also contribute back to WordPress in a meaningful way. And
I
so
love it.
I did just get access to the WordCamp or WordPress San Diego meetup group again. I'm looking to
Nice.
start that up again. And that's about it right now. I'm having just a lot of good conversations.
I saw you did the meetup training. I went and looked at your WordPress. I looked at all of your social handles, including your WordPress.org today. And I was like, oh, he did that training recently. I did some training myself recently. So that was kind of cool.
Yep. Yep.
So thanks so much for being here today. Hang on, but while we end the stream, and I'll just chat with you for a couple minutes before I let you go for the day. To everybody else, just a reminder that there is no Happiness Hour next week. Let me take this off. I'm still showing your screen. Take no Happiness Hour next week. And then the week after, I will have Andre Gagnon from SureCard here, and we're going to talk about that. So I'm looking forward to that. But so we will see you all back here in 2 weeks. Thanks.